All right, I have this conversation with Gen Z all the time because since he started working for me about 3 months ago, he's always felt like somehow he was going to break out, right? Every Gen Z that I've hired for this position has believed that this was some sort of stepping stone to a better job. And every time they come up with this ideas in the office, I'm like, look at everyone around you. All of these guys have been here for more than 5 years with zero promotions. What makes you believe that this is any sort of career? It's just a job. And the last thing companies want to do is invest in their workers. You better show up at that job willing to accept barely more a dollar or two above the minimum wage with your college degree. So entry level jobs have been more difficult than ever for college grads to get into these jobs. And I've been saying this for years on this channel. I live 2 miles from ASU, one of the largest universities in America. And every time they release 20,000 or 10,000 or however many tens of thousands of grads into the wild around here, they have to disperse. There's no jobs here. Within 5 miles of the university, there isn't a halfway decent job. If you look around what's available around that university, it's all fast food and retail, minimum wage work. And these kids don't want that. They want jobs that are going to allow them to move out of their parents' house. Well, let me assure you, Susie Rottencrotch, with your communications degree, you're not going to make it. You're going to have to live at home, and you're going to have to work at the Dairy Queen for the foreseeable future. Because if there's a good job out there, chances are there's a person that has 5 to 10 years of experience who wants that job. That means that as a recent grad, you have no chance. And that's something that they don't tell you in career services. Like myself, when I was at ASU, I got nervous towards the end. The closer I got to the end of my education, the more I knew something bad was going to happen. Just like I know something bad's going to happen to me now. You just get that feeling in the pit of your stomach that, this isn't good. Look at my degree experience. Look at the job market. What am I going to do? That's how you end up working in retail after college. It's incredibly humiliating that happens, but it does happen. And there's not anything you could have done other than be smarter, right? Get a STEM degree. Do something that someone's willing to pay you more money for. If you get a degree, a worthless 4 underwater basket weaving degrees like myself, and then you go out there and you stick your hand out for a larger paycheck, they're just going to slap your hand and hand you some food stamps. With that said, let's get into my 4 talking points. Talking point number 1, the overloaded job descriptions. So, entry level jobs now demand advanced skills and multiple years of experience, creating unrealistic expectations for fresh graduates. In the script that ChatGPT wrote me, it actually created a category for entry level plus and entry level ultra. Both of these entry level jobs require at least 5 to 10 years of experience on hands-on experience and unpaid internships just to get that entry level job. As I say all the time, the only thing entry level about the current job market is the pay. When you walk into one of these job interviews and they know you just graduated from school and you talk about money and they say something like, we'd like to offer you about $16 an hour. You look at them and you're like, wait a minute. The people who work at In-N-Out Burger make $18.50. And I was actually talking with someone who works in a doctor's office currently, making the minimum wage part-time with a college degree. And we were eating at a fast food place, and she looked at the employees working there, and she said, all of these people here make more money than I do, And I have a degree and I work in a doctor's office. Guess what? It doesn't matter. If that's what the market thinks is fair value for your job position, that's what it is. You can't change it. Gen Z on Friday was looking at his paycheck, which was about a little over $1,000, and he just kind of glanced over at me and he's like, Millennial Stain, how am I supposed to live on this? And I said to him, we've been over this many times. The only way you're going to live on that paycheck is if you're living with your parents. And he just looked down and he got really depressed. And I'm like, you've been getting these tiny paychecks for months. Don't act like this is the first time that you've been severely disappointed with your paycheck. Because these paychecks aren't designed to help you, they're designed to hurt you. They've weaponized low wages against the proletariat. And this has been going on for a long time. This is the most difficult time in American history, other than the Great Depression, which I personally think we're in a depression anyway, to make a living on an honest day's wages. Talking point number 2, the shift in degree value. A college degree has become the bare minimum rather than a distinguishing achievement as record numbers of people are graduating. College is now a cover fee. It's a cover charge, like at a nightclub, for a minimum wage entry level job. It used to be that you could probably get something, maybe in retail management after you got out of college, but there's already people there. There's already people who didn't graduate from high school that have been working that job since they didn't graduate from high school. Now you show up, you're 10 years younger than they are, you have a fancy college degree, you sound nothing like them, and they're going to hold it against you for forever, as long as you hold that job. I've been humiliated so many times while working, being called a college boy, being put down because the person above me, who sounds like a hillbilly, tells me how they didn't go to college. And it's been a cycle that's repeated throughout my entire life, is people telling me that they make more money and they didn't go to school and they sound like they're, you know, mentally deficient. But they're there and they're not getting out of the way just because you have a college degree. And it's very unfair. It's cruel to be an educated person making minimum wage, but it is the future of America's young people, and they don't like it, especially not Gen Z. I was just reading an article on Friday about a 28-year-old that went into a job interview, lied on his resume, got caught lying, and then asked for a ridiculous salary. Nonetheless, they threw him right out, and that guy's probably working at McDonald's right now. Because just because you want something doesn't mean you're going to get it. I'd love to be making a comfortable salary. Am I ever going to do that? No. By the way, remember to subscribe, donate, and at least leave a like on the channel, please, people. Revenue's down more than 50%. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to continue doing this channel if the revenue continues to slide into the toilet, because I can't spend 2 hours a day making YouTube videos and not make any money from it. Just tossing that out there just so you guys know. All right, talking point number 3. Employers avoiding training costs. Companies no longer want to invest in training employees. Instead, they outsource the responsibility of skill building to you. The cost, the time, and the hassle of getting certs. The worst part is a cert doesn't equal anything. You could get a CNA, a comp, the thing that used to be called a A+ certification, a Network Plus, a Security Plus. You could have all these things and end up working in a call center for minimum wage. I saw it at Insight. This isn't something I'm just talking about abstractly. This is something I saw when I worked at Insight at a call center, where people there were very overqualified people there, and then there were people that they just found them at a Home Depot and they brought them to work there. But it doesn't guarantee anything. And that's something I had to tell someone yesterday because she was very intrigued by the channel. So me and Mello met this person last week, and she was very intrigued by how Mello and I met through the channel. And she's like, you know what? I like what you're saying about the corruption in corporate America, and someone has to say it. Someone has to say what I'm thinking every single day, or else they'll normalize the way that things are out there. But the cost shifting has turned internships, boot camps, and unpaid experience into prerequisites for entry level plus entry level ultra jobs. If someone's not out here saying this, if these people, if these 20,000 students had been listening to my channel, they wouldn't have gone to school. I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 college students do not belong in a college or university. They belong at a trade school, or they shouldn't even bother. Because if you are going to get the same job without the debt, what's the point? I'm telling you that from my own personal experience. I can't find a job to save my life. And I've been working my entire life. I've been working for more than 20 years now. And I can't find a job. I can't get an interview. I can't get a call back. I can't even get a reply email from anything that I've applied to on Indeed. There just isn't anything out there unless you're a very specialized person. And I am not. I'm a generalist. Someone asked me in the comments the other day about what I do for a living. They're like, you sound like a network technician. No. In technology right now, you have to be able to do everything. In fact, the other day I was just rolling my eyes at Gen Z when I asked them to do a very simple task. I need you to ping the server and I need you to bring up your IP address. And he just looked at me and said, MS, I don't know how to do that. I have never used a command prompt. I just about fell out of my chair. Anyhow, talking point number 4. The psychological toll on job seekers. This environment fosters a toxic cycle where employees continue to push boundaries and job seekers feel compelled to accept low wages just to get their foot in the door. Desperation wages are nothing new. Desperation wages, I imagine, will go up as there are less and less unskilled labor in this country because that's how you get something to go up. Right now, we have a market that's entirely saturated with low level workers in the form of migrants that will do just about anything for money, right? They don't speak English, they have no education, but they can still do a vast number of the jobs that require nothing. You're just a warm body to do the job. Farming, meat packing, hospitality, all the jobs that don't require any communication skills or any previous education. But as you remove a lot of the labor, hopefully that will cause the wages at the bottom to increase because there'll be more scarcity. At least that's the theory. That's the way it's supposed to work. With so many millions of people out there, I think that they're going to be able to keep the wages suppressed indefinitely. So the desperation for someone who's willing to take a job that pays minimum wage climbs up higher as the standard for what they will accept for the minimum wage, right? There's a lot of people out there right now who can't get a minimum wage job because people don't want them. You don't have the right look, you don't have the right resume, you don't have the right skills. And that really starts to affect you. It affects me every single day. You think about, well, what's in my future? I mean, I leave my education off my resume now indefinitely because the last thing I want is for them to look at my resume and say, no, too much education here. We're not going to pay for that. You just have to be a person. And that's the sad part of a lot of these college students that are going to come out. They're going to have to learn that their education is actually not beneficial in the vast majority of jobs. You need to have the skills to do the job and the experience. But education's not necessary. Experience and skills is what they want. That means that you can take the job and start doing the job the first day. You're not going to take 3 to 6 months in basic training in order to do an entry level plus job. But what that does mean is when you eliminate education, you eliminate the advantage that those people have by just saying I'm educated. So once you remove that part and you only rely on skill and experience, that causes the amount of people that can qualify for those particular jobs to go down significantly. Because if you can't just say, hey, I have a degree, and that's enough for them to say, okay, well, we'll train you here. We'll train you for 3 to 6 months to do this position. And then at the end, you'll have the experience and training in order to do that job. Corporations know better. They know that offering their workers anything, right? And I've noticed this with my current corporation. They don't want to give you anything that you can use that costs them that will make you more more desirable to a different corporation. So if they train you at corporation A, and after 3 to 6 months you have a cert or you have experience in training, and now you can make $20,000 more by walking across the street to corporation B. They don't want to put themselves in that position. That's why the training that they should be offering is not available, because they've learned this throughout the years that giving people anything for free just makes them more desirable to other corporations. They can go make more money somewhere else. Sure, you provided them that training and they did the work for $16 an hour. But corporation clearly knows that they're underpaying them, that they're undervaluing them. And that's part of their model of work, is that you use labor that doesn't have the ability to get a better job. I myself am a desperation worker. I have to do this job because I can't find anything better. I've never done anything like this before. And the great thing about the way that I got trained is I had to train myself. There wasn't a skilled manager. There wasn't any skilled employees that taught me how to do my job. I just had to learn how to do it. And it's the sink or swim mentality that's out there in corporate America. And if you try to lie and cheat your way into one of these positions that requires a very specific skill set, and you show up and you can't do it, you're not going to make it through the end of the day. They may give you a couple weeks, maybe just to find your bearings, but if it's clear that you do not have experience and training in the area that they need you to be able to do on your own right away, they're not going to keep you. And this is something that I've noticed throughout the years as well. And I'm just going to end the video on this note. So someone in the comment section today put, so what market value does Gen Z have? Well, all I really need Gen Z to do in his current job is to be able to make boxes and put stickers on them. That's it. I could have an unpaid intern doing this job, and it makes so close to minimum wage that that's the only value that someone in that job has, is that they're going to stay in that job until they get tired of doing the same thing every day. It's like working at McDonald's. You're going to work the fry later every single day. Eventually, you're going to move on. And that's the way that this job was built. It's just a job for a person who wants to come in, do the same thing every day, and then burn themselves out and look for other jobs. He's been looking for another job since he started working there. So hopefully, he learns that that not all jobs are career-oriented jobs. In fact, most of the jobs you're going to take in your entire life are just going to be jobs. My current job is just a job. It doesn't matter what I do in it. As long as I show up and I do my job, it's just going to be another McDonald's job, and then they'll have to find someone else to man the fry later at some point. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys in the afternoon video.